Hello, folks, and welcome to the 12th here, baby. Here it
12 episodes.
12th episode of Trigger Boys, Darling the FranXX. I'm hype. I kind of want the show's opening to change. TBH, I like it currently, but I want something new. But
I feel that. Hey, we might get one next episode.
I hope so.
I am Vamp the Vampire, Vamp Cavendish. I have many names. Hopefully I don't rebrand in the future. I might. But I'm that for now. That's my identity. # my identity. We have also with us Lucifer Lucy.
Hey, I'm here. I don't know why I'm here. I'm here because I signed up. I'm here because we're doing a podcast. And I'm ready to talk about Darling the FranXX. I'm hyped. This is gonna be a good episode, guys. So stay tuned in. Get that watch time up because we're deep diving today. We're deep diving.
Oh yeah. Play this video 10 times in a row on loop.
Yes.
Like, please do it.
Smash that like button. Fucking crush that like button.
Rape that subscribe button.
Rape it.
All right.
Rape it.
Ooh.
Last but not least, Munzie is here.
Spoilers. I'm literally killing myself, and I didn't even mean to, for the entire month of April. So go over to the Munzie YouTube channel. I would say youtube.com/Munzie, but I don't have 100 subs yet. So go over to my YouTube channel, get me to 100 subs so that I can actually have youtube.com/Munzie.
Munzie's actually gonna. By the time this comes out, Munzie's a week into a video a day month challenge, and it's day 1 on day of this recording, or day 2, and Munzie is. Oh no, it's only day 2 because it's 1 a.m. Munzie is like already very blatantly like stressed out and agitated and overworked.
Yeah, so it's because I forgot how to edit videos in like the 3 years that I haven't been in high school. And learning how to edit videos is actually like really hard when you have to do it like a real boy.
Editing videos is cancer, I think.
So I'm just gonna probably kill myself by the end of April, and maybe I won't be in this podcast anymore. But hey, that means I don't need to watch this trash show. So
yeah.
Wow. Well, we have that. Mm-hmm. So this show.
It's officially a gay. Actually,
nope.
That has no bearing on this episode. I'm just saying it's a gay. But
I'm gonna go out there. Go out there and say that this was actually a pretty good episode. In my opinion, I think. So actually, this is gonna be pretty important. I'm gonna hit you guys with a fucking hardball right here.
Oh, yeah.
I feel my perspective on anime totally shifting. Because if anybody here, and I doubt that very many people who are listening to this podcast watch my stuff, because we get way more views on these videos and on Vamp's channel. But I recently put out this video that was saying I'm done with anime discussion, and I've been kind of talking about this subject with these guys, and I'm sort of like renouncing a lot of my affiliation like with the medium and the community and shit, and I think that I think that the result of that is I could feel my standards lowering maybe a little bit while watching this episode, or maybe it's just because this episode's good now. I don't know, but I kind of wanted to come out there.
Do you like Darling and the FranXX now? Is that what you're saying?
I think I might be okay with it at least.
Do we have a role reversal, where like Vamp like doesn't like it anymore and you do?
It might be. I mean, I don't know,
possibly.
because I found this episode quite tolerable and quite whatever. Quite all right.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, and for continuity purposes, I find this show insufferable still.
Well, that's good. That's good. Well, then we'll still have that perspective.
When I watched this episode, I very much so thought to myself, well, I don't want to keep watching this show anymore. I'm kind of. I feel bad because I feel like I'm running out of new things to say about it because it's just now repeating the same things I don't like. But that's why for this episode I'm gonna sit out. Not for the whole thing, but I'm gonna let you guys do most of the talking, and I'll chime in when I have things to say.
Yeah,
to tell you why you're wrong about
this
this show being good.
Yeah.
Well, then you'll be talking the whole time again, Lindsay. You'll be talking the whole time.
I'll say yeah. I won't talk a lot, and then I'll just talk the whole time. But we'll get there. We'll see what happens. I can't help it.
We'll see what happens.
The world
when you're the red pill god,
no one
The
can
red
tell
pill
the
god.
future. Get fucked. All right.
Yeah.
For continuity purposes as well, I would like to say that like I'm at the point where I'm just like, I want some episode to give me hope for the series as a whole, to better itself. And I have to say, like, even though like this episode, I mean, we'll get into the details, but this episode's structure in terms of like I'm looking at the notes, front fills a lot of the interactions and whatnot, and then it goes into like battle scenes and whatnot at the end. I would have to say that this is an above average episode, but I feel in the events that are actually happening, I see the show taking a good direction, I think. So I want to say I'm hating the show. I'm not saying that I'm like loving the show. I think it's like moderately entertaining, and I think it's gonna get like possibly better based upon this episode and the direction it's gonna go. So just to start us off, the first scene, of course, is a monologue of Hero, and he says, "Yo, my niggas." This is a monologue, by the way. Yo, my niggas. Living every moment to the fullest is what makes someone human. And he's like, I think that. I thought, 02 thought that, but maybe she doesn't, And it's also snowing. That's not part of the last part wasn't part of the quote, but
Actually, well, it's not part of the quote.
Yo, my niggas.
Snowing is very important.
Let your dreams be dreams. Also, it's snowing.
Yes. So it's snowing is actually a pretty key part of my perspective on this episode, because it's got this, like, the whole episode is either like it's dark or it's out and it's kind of whitewashed. And I gotta say, this show looks a lot better with muted colors. Mm-hmm. Like, I know that my taste in color palette is sort of muted, a little monochrome. That's how I like my shit to look. Mm-hmm. And I could totally see somebody coming at this episode and being like, why the fuck did they do this? It looks bland as shit, Mm-hmm. It's like, it used to be all colorful and contrasty or whatever, and now it looks like it's been soaked in bleach. But I think it looks pleasant. I thought the show was ugly before, and now I think it looks fine.
Yeah, I thought it looked all right. Yeah, I didn't hate it.
I always thought like the show looked pretty good. Like maybe the colors weren't like super on point, or it was like super like impressive, I should say. But I always thought it was like
I think for me, I always just thought it was like I always thought it was bad, but I think I've just gotten used to it a little bit, and it doesn't bother me too much anymore.
Oh yeah.
That's reasonable.
Yeah. I was going to mention this at the end, or towards like the middle of this podcast, but you mentioning the aesthetic and whatnot, and it being muted and whatnot. I noticed that the kids are wearing like, first of all, like, slightly different uniform.
Yes. I wanted to talk about that too, actually.
Oh, yeah. I want to mention military golf.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say that.
Oh, we're doing that on air now.
Yeah.
We're talking about how they're Nazis
that was
now.
a meme that was only between us, but it is now out to the public. And the uniforms that these kids are wearing are like, first of all, more for winter, obviously, and it's just, I don't see any blue like there was before. Maybe that's just like, maybe I'm wrong, but like I have a few screenshots here that like they literally like everything's just like the red, X or Y on their chest, and then it's like black, not super jet black, but it's like basically black,
I'd say it's like a dark blue.
Mm-hmm. But to me, basically black.
Yeah, I mean, also like a part of that is I don't know if it's just you, but it's the whole episode has like a blue tint to it. So it could be that it looks black because everything else is also tinted blue, so it looks like it's black.
That's fair,
blue.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very possible, and that's why I was like, I'm not going to say 100%, but, I figure it gave me them vibes. Hashtag Hail Hitler.
Yes.
We're getting censored on YouTube.
Oh no, we talked about Hitler. We're edgelords now. Oh no, fucking hang me at the gallows. I'm a fucking edgelord. I'm the internet's biggest edgelord. Oh no. Anyways.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the uniforms in this episode were interesting because I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I did. Well, during like one of the earlier scenes, these uniforms that the kids are wearing, the winter uniforms, all have X's on them. Every single one.
Oh shit, you're right.
Do they really?
Yes.
That is, I did not notice that, and that is fascinating. I wonder why.
They're
tearing apart gender norms. They're breaking it down.
See, I was actually basically just gonna say that, like, I think it's kind of interesting, and I feel like it's gonna be the topic of some overthought scripted 15-minute video that some small YouTuber is gonna come out with about like the symbology of this fucking show or something.
Lucy, don't give away my video ideas.
So,
God
also
damn it,
on the same note, they run into another team today. I think we're gonna get into that maybe in a minute, but so I'm kind of getting ahead of everybody here, but
just by a little bit, but not too much.
That other team doesn't have X or Y's at all. They're just little dots. They're little points instead of X's or Y's. I mean, you know, if you're gonna read into that, you could say that they don't have chromosomes, or they don't have gender on that team, or something.
Or they're not human, possibly.
Maybe. I mean, that was humanity was sort of a theme of this episode, so maybe that could be a thing. But it wasn't immediately apparent to me what those symbols meant and what that symbology of the uniforms changing meant for the show. So I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna go out on any.
It was a worthy mention, though.
Making statements, yeah. But I thought it was interesting.
Oh yeah. So the only part you only skipped over one part, and that was just okay, the setting is, the garden, quote unquote, and it's just the parasite development facility where Hero and whatnot and the kids grew up. And obviously, there's kids there now also being developed. So yeah, this special team of white uniformed kids are they're called the Nines. They're a quote unquote special forces unit,
and they're dressed to the nines in all white.
Oh yeah.
Also they were the pastel squad. Yes. They all had pastel hair colors. Yeah, and I thought it was the funniest shit in the world.
We were talking about Aryan before. They were definitely giving me some Aryan super race kind of vibes and how they looked.
Yeah.
Because I mean, all of the fucking people in this show are white, but they're all white, and they got the white uniforms. The kids got blonde hair. It was very reminiscent to me of them sort of being almost angelic with the colors that were being used.
Yeah,
I guess.
Very inhuman, possibly.
Yeah, I'm
going to straight up mention it now that it's pretty hinted at that there are these peeps are pretty similar to 02, though not completely.
She did say the 02 used to roll with their squad, as they say out on the street.
Oh yeah, that's what the kids are saying nowadays. They be rolling, and I have a feeling that these kids are demons too, or Klaxosaur half breeds or whatever. But that's just a theory, a gay theory.
Oh no! No! I disapprove.
Hashtag no bullying.
Hashtag forced meme. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll get to more stuff. Next scene is 02 and Hero in a library, and Hero's yo, my Negro, my honey Jay.
What? I'm stopping this right now. What the fuck is with all the Hitler memes, the race jokes? Vamp,
no, we're just
you are mostly
now.
White, Vamp.
We're the edge boys, and we're rebranding.
No,
I'm dying.
I disagree. I don't approve.
No. No, Munzie, you're the one here who has the reputation as an edgelord, remember?
No! Just because I don't like
This
telling you the
podcast
facts doesn't mean
this
I'm a
podcast-
Nazi, okay?
It's slipping
All right,
between
all right.
our fingers.
Let's reel it back in.
Yes, let's reel it back in.
All right. Okay.
There's
I'm
no
gonna
saving
abandon the
We're
retarded
done.
gang shit, but
Yes.
Honey Jam was a funny name that I just came up for 02. Someone should put that in a meme. But yeah, Hero's
God,
like,
what is
hey,
this fucking podcast now?
this is a disaster. This is a storm. Hero's like, you can tell me whatever you want. You're clearly holding something in and not telling me stuff. Like, I'm here for you. And she's like, I don't give a fuck.
Like, he'd be like, yo, listen, 02, we've been doing this for 4 episodes now. You need to tell me what's up.
It's like, it's time. It's time to
He
stop.
did basically say that.
The people,
I mean,
give the people what they want.
Yeah. You've been in the
And
background
that's screen
being, like,
time
edgy and sad
and
for
titties.
too long. Oh yeah. So of course, it's kind of awkward scene. Clearly 02 and your boy Hero are not on the same like resonance anymore, wavelength, as the kids might say. And it's pretty sad to see 02 like this, honestly. Like, I'm pretty like, I was never like I did like Hero 2, I mean not Hero 2's 02's aesthetic and her outfit, and her whole character design. But I was like, I don't have a deep connection to this character. But like, this episode, I was really feeling like, not really bad for 02, but like frustrated with the character in a way that's like more sympathetic than like aggressive towards the character. I don't know. 02's good. She's apparently a vampire in some of these screenshots I have. They'll be on screen.
Not just in the screenshots, in the show itself. She's a fucking vampire now, but we're really getting ahead of ourselves. We're going to talk about that right now.
Mm-hmm. A quick mention real quick is that at the beginning of the scene, 02 like is looking at a shelf with like a bunch of the same books, and she like grabs one of them, and it's called Royce and Abigail, and the author is Willia Shakespeare or something like that. But it's clearly like probably Romeo and Juliet, William Shakespeare.
Wait,
probably.
So, confirmed alternate universe now, and not even just like expanded Earth universe.
I guess so.
Because it's not like they didn't have
Weird.
like Shakespeare's public domain.
Yeah.
So it's not like they didn't have the rights to Shakespeare or anything.
Maybe they just thought they were being cute. I don't know.
I feel like they were trying to not like put too much emphasis on it. So making the title itself pretty much unrecognizable, and like the author maybe a little bit, maybe some people would speculate and do theories and whatnot, but it's not going to make a normal viewer like pause or anything or really notice at all. I think
that makes that is single-handedly making it. I'm never changing the score from this show from a 1 ever, just because of that.
Really?
No, I don't give a fuck. I actually move so.
See, I was actually gonna bring up how I think that maybe it could have been an attempt to avoid the perceived effect that I get whenever I see shows that like name drop books like Psychopaths.
They might be pretentious.
Hey, shut
that
the
it's
fuck
a little
up.
Pretentious. It's a little pretentious. Where it's like, check out this book that I read in high school. How about that? How about we?
Dude,
just
I will
put
not
in
deny
there?
that name dropping literature and Psychopaths isn't kind of like pretentious. All I'm saying is that the character that names drops books and Psychopaths is really fucking pretentious.
Yeah. You have a
I
really
mean-
fucking good point there for defending that show and the criticism I just made, and I entirely agree with you.
I totally like think that like the books and whatnot, if you know what the books and you've read them, they kind of add to the theming a whole lot of like certain episodes. So if anything, like having it being like common references is like pretty good, and is like almost the opposite of pretension. It's very inclusionary.
1984 by George Orwell like has themes that relate to pretty directly to Psychopaths. However, Romeo and Juliet doesn't have much to do with Darling in the Franxx. I mean, because it's like a love story, right? And that's what it's known as, of course. But
it should have been Brave New World.
It could have been. I mean, Romeo and Juliet's it's a forbidden love because it's across a battle line, right? But we don't have that going on here. We have a vaguely forbidden love, maybe, we don't really know, between two characters who are on the same side, and one is a human, or maybe won't be very soon. Another one is half human, half something else. And it's not forbidden because they're across a battle line. It's forbidden because they live in like a dystopian society that might be preventing them from loving each other because they were never taught how to love.
Yeah,
So
there's a classic novel that does that, I'm sure. You know, I don't know, like Frankenstein or like I don't know.
I have a theory that
fuck, Frankenstein actually immediately, just because of like the monster theming as well as like I mean I've never read Frankenstein, but I'm pretty sure there's a love story in there, right? He makes way more sense.
No, I don't think there's a love story for There's not like a love of Frankenstein. It's more so that there's a like characters that like forgive him just because like there's a girl that like forgives him, and he's like unjustly hated for being a monster, even though he has a good heart.
Another thing in there is like in Frankenstein's monster is created by Dr. Frankenstein that we're talking about in this episode. That the kids.
Oh my God!
Created.
Darling in the FranXX.
Darling in the Frankenstein.
Dr. FranXX, Darling in the Frankenstein.
Oh my God!
Fuck!
So immediately we just came up with a way better literary reference that they could have made. Even though it still only vaguely kind of holds together because none of us have read Frankenstein. But clearly, these people don't actually understand. And probably haven't read.
To be fair, I haven't read Frankenstein, but I took a high school 12th grade literature class where we're supposed to read Frankenstein.
Guys, we can just be anime writers now. We can just quit our jobs as podcasters, just go and write anime. We'll be better at it, apparently.
Or become high school English teachers.
Yes.
There we go. All of our problems are solved. I want to say right now, Frankenstein is a pretty bad reference, if it would have been a reference. Just because it's like this show is mostly about relationships with people and romance, and this has like, you know,
Vamp, shut the fuck up. This isn't a romance anime. People keep calling it romance. It's just a fucking clusterfuck.
Specifically, okay, we're not talking about comparing Frankenstein to the show. We're talking about comparing Frankenstein to the episode because they both have a strong underlying theme of a character that is both created and questionably human, and they're struggling with their humanity because everybody thinks they're a monster.
Better argument, yeah. But I really think that like, you know, I feel like Frankenstein would have like a lot of theming with the nature of being a creator of something, and like. No one created Zero Two.
None of us have read Frankenstein.
I've never read Frankenstein, so it's just my theory. It's literally a theory. It's speculation of a book I've never read.
Oh no! Let me crawl back into my armchair for this one.
Guys, I just want to say real quick, if you weren't aware at this point, this is the worst episode of this podcast that we've done so far.
It starts off with us literally like spouting memes and like being self-indulgent, just talking about ourselves.
You guys
clicked off by now.
Spouting memes.
And so like everyone's clicked off, and now we're kind of in the deep of it.
Nobody's watching.
Nobody's clicked off.
Somebody might have clicked off.
But
I mean, I'm pretty sure most views click off. All right, what happens next, Vamp?
All right.
After book scene.
After book scene,
she tries to kiss him.
Oh yeah, she tries to kiss him.
I'm pretty sure that's a flashback too. Or is it just like because Hero's like in a room like thinking about it? I think
maybe it's a flashback because I don't remember there being a library.
Didn't think of it that way.
It didn't seem like a flashback, so I'm gonna say no.
Maybe just cut ahead because it seemed like he was thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. So all right, the kids wandered the garden, the facility, and they're reminiscing. They're like, oh, our childhood. Oh, like literal screenshots from our childhood. Oh, isn't it great? Oh, it gives us no new information. And that's just me being frank. Like, it's just
being FranXX.
Oh
Fucking
my
kill
god!
Me, please, yo.
All right. Also, to get past that part, kids are still wandering. They question, why these kids are like being prepped earlier in life to pilot FranXX. And apparently the dinos are like being more active nowadays. So the adults are like, okay, let's get these child soldiers that are even younger than our current child soldiers. Let's get them prepped. We got our soldiers. We gotta stay good. Yes.
I would like to say that fuck, I totally forgot what I was gonna say. Keep going.
No.
I had a point and I lost it.
All right. So here, I literally don't know where this is said or whatever, but I just want to say out right now that Hero might turn into a demon or half Calaxosaur or whatever if he continues to pilot with
confirmed. That's definitely going to be a thing that happens.
A thing that knowing
it's going to become a plot conflict.
Knowing how things go with this show is he's never actually going to turn. He's going to always just almost turn and then just turn back.
With that willpower, man, you can change plot,
It probably is going to be willpower based. I bet it is going to be willpower based.
just like events from before. What was the episode 6? Who cares though?
Those were the days.
And my other note was going to be military goths, but we already went over that.
Yes, we already covered that very important plot point.
I wanted that meme to come in like way later on. But
that's fine.
It's fine. All right. So, as per usual FranXX like structure of an episode, all the stuff is front loaded, like I said, and then it's like battles at the end. So there's 2 battles. This first battle just shows that like 02 has this idea of like wanting to kill as many Calaxosaurs as possible because somehow that will make her human.
Yes, that was super questionable to me. I was like, what? Well, there was a point later where I also like was questioning the reverse where they were fighting Calaxosaurs and 02 was like, I gotta kill more Calaxosaurs so I can become a human. And then Hero was like, why though? Why do you think that? And I was like, why? Like, not only am I questioning here 02's basis, 02's personal justification for why she thinks that killing all the Calaxosaurs will turn her to be human, but I'm also questioning Hero's basis for distrusting her because he doesn't say, hey, you never really gave me a reason. Like, he doesn't pull her aside and be like, why do you think this? He just screams about how she's wrong or whatever, but he has no basis for that. Because he isn't.
I guess like
what
she's just been like mysterious in general, and it's also going against like the structure of battle, at least.
I hate, and I might be jumping ahead. I'm not even sure anymore. This forced sense of mystery with 02 because we had the discussion at a point in this episode between white-haired Aryan kid, and Ichigo, where he's like, yeah, 02's a monster, she is, and then it like, you do the zoom out and he's talking but you can't hear him, and I said out loud, like entirely involuntarily, I was like, oh fuck you, like I hate when shit like that happens where it's just like it's cock teasing us, and it's like, show, I don't need cock teasing right now. I've been teased enough. Just let me fucking come. Like, come on with this shit,
Yeah, let us climax, We've
Give
been
me something.
We've been waiting,
Yeah, give me something.
Then we have to wait until the last episode to get any climax at all.
Yeah, and it'll
Rest
just
in
be
peace.
Bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Cause like it's
also
it's
here's an interesting.
overhyping itself.
Didn't episode 6 close out like the first kind of like arc of the show.
Yeah, I would say yes.
Did this close out anything like
No.
like an arc, or did like really just like
No.
open up more
It-
shit?
it-
I'm not
yeah,
saying that it
opened-
has to
opened up
follow
more
an arc
boxes.
structure whatsoever. It was just a
We're just
thought,
trying
you
to
know?
formulate this
Yes,
in our
it's
mind.
That
And
trend
I
is
called it
not
an
there
arc.
like I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Not
It
it's not a
just
big
seems
deal,
like
just an observation.
There was like a mini arc. There was the big arc, and then it was like there's just mini arcs with the characters, and it's gonna, I guess, pinnacle when we get 02 solved. Maybe next episode or the
Dude,
episode
I don't
after
even
that.
know.
Or
With
never.
how the show's been going, we're gonna turn on next episode. It's gonna be another fucking beach episode or some shit like that, or it'll be Christmas, and it's like what?
We
you
need an
know?
episode with the 9 team or the 9s theme.
Time skip.
We get their beach episode. It's like why? Why? It's just,
Before we move on to after the battle's done, obviously I want to close off the battle with saying that of course they won, and 02 and Hero kind of kicked ass, but they were obviously they're actively moving out of position to kill more Calaxosaurs, because 02 wanted to, and Hero's like, nah dude, I don't want to do that. So it's like, it's
like
weird
this
how
is just show like, and so here's another problem. I've said this before. There is no plan. Like
Mhm.
they're not sent out there with a plan or a structure, and there's no reprimands when they fuck up at all.
Yeah.
no.
And I'm
We've
just like,
already gone
they're-
over this.
I know.
entirely-
It just
stupid.
never fucking
It never
ends.
ends. Yeah, it never ends
Yeah.
with this show.
So like,
though,
I'm not even mad. I can't be mad at 02
Yeah.
because like, why wouldn't she just do whatever she wanted?
Yeah, I mean, the weird thing is like,
yeah,
Ichigo never punishes her. Nana never punishes her on behalf of
No one. Everyone's just like,
Ichigo.
oh, that was a bummer.
Oh, but she's the strongest member, and she's like
Which
basically
is also
carries
which
us.
also makes me think. So two things can possibly happen from this. Eventually, you could have a character's life is put at risk because of like this shitty battle strategy, which like kind of has been, but not like seriously. In which case they will just survive because of course they will. I think we've established that most
Oh, yeah.
characters are gonna
Yes.
go.
These
But
characters
if
are staying
on the
alive.
off chance, the rare chance that one of these characters does go, it's gonna feel cheap as hell.
Yeah. It'll be like very specifically planned, and it probably won't be. It'll be like a plot device more than like an actual thing.
It will not have impact.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I could see that being the case. So while we're kind of talking about like weight and shit in this show, I might still be being teased by this show, but Hero certainly almost got to come in this episode because
Yup.
they
Oh
nearly
yeah, that's the
fought
next
by
scene.
the
That's
river.
the lake scene. Yes.
Yeah, by the lake. That's right. So
The lake is literally frozen. That's how I'm setting the scene. Snowy
yeah,
and
the
frozen.
lake's frozen over. And what did they talk about, Vamp? They talked about her humanity. I think it was just fucking more of Hero trying to pry her.
Yeah, this
stupid
is like
mystery box open.
the real confrontation scene between 02 and Hero, which I would say was like a necessary thing. I just wish that it wasn't like dragged out for so long, with the scene before kind of being like a setup just for this scene near the lake. It's like a little unnecessary. Luckily it wasn't too invasive, I would say, or take too long. But basically what happened is like, like Hero was like, confronting, and 02 actually explained herself. Oh yeah, if I kill more Calaxosaurs, I'll become human. 02, Hero obviously replies, hey, that doesn't make any sense. Don't be silly.
Right.
You're fine just the way you are. And this is like, you might have expected, oh, this might have been romantic or whatever, but 02 just keeps to her beliefs, I guess.
Well, I will say shit did get real this
actually-
episode because after Hero confesses his love for 02, she like freaks out and is like, "You're just fodder." And I was like,
Yes.
"Damn."
I actually, despite the sex cocktease, I really liked the interaction here. I thought it was pretty on point. You could see the sort of like inhuman, non romantically inclined, sort of alien, animalistic, and like sexual nature of 02, where he confesses, he's like, "Hey, I love you," and then she fucking pushes him on the ground and takes her dress off, and she says, "Oh, this is what you want? This is what you fucking want? Is this what you mean? You know?" And he's like, he just pushes her off, and he's like, "No, that's not what I fucking mean."
Yeah, it's very clear at this point that like 02 actually kind of doesn't give a fuck about Hiro, like at all.
Yeah. And you know what still bothers me is that they still keep saying fucking darling, and I still don't like that. I don't like that she kept calling him that.
Well, it's revealed that she is using him to find like another darling or something.
She's like, I think that there's a case there, and they could have done a bit more with this. That she says, "No, I'm actually looking for my first darling," and I think it could have been, maybe it's a translation thing. I think it could have been said. And the show did not say this, but I think maybe they meant to, that she's just projecting, almost literally, projecting the memories of her old darling into Hiro. That she's like projecting her old love onto him, and that's why she calls him darling. But they don't say that. They don't.
Yeah, it's very unclear if like this quote unquote previous darling or first darling, original darling, like ever is still alive, or if he died or whatever. So it's like,
I assume he died.
Yeah, I mean, I would guess so too.
Remember, isn't she also like 14?
Mm-hmm.
Is she 14?
Someone should check.
Aren't
them
they
now.
all? I'm pretty sure they're all like 14,
I
or maybe
know,
they're like 15 or 16. They're not that old. They're not like 17. I know that. And they said today that she's killed over 100 partners, which has to be. They can't. It's not in like a year's time. You don't go through that because everyone has to ride with her at least once, which means a lot of people would go up to 3 times, which means she's probably had like 200 or so different rides, maybe more than that, upwards of up to 300 different rides, which you're not doing in the course of like a year or two. That's like several years of fighting, which means 02, even if she's like 16, her first darling would have been when she was like 13 or 14, and she just has this like stupid attraction to it, which is just like something I don't like. Like, you shouldn't be in love like that.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be an annoying thing going forward for like 02 because she's gonna be hung up on this guy, I guess. It's like this character that's irrelevant, in the present, other than like how it affects 02. And it's just gonna lead to more like conflict and struggle between Hiro and 02, and I kind of wish that conflict would just be over. I know they are the main characters, and like their whole conflict in like relationship is the whole show basically.
Yeah,
at least the main part. It's like, come on though. I don't want to get cock blocked and like.
I guess it's just a new kind of like important thing that we know.
Right.
It's kind of like it has to happen because that is going to just. I mean, you better just be an important thing that comes up again, or else it'll be a really shitty thing for her to say.
Not to undermine Vamp your point earlier, but I actually really appreciate one of the things that I like about this episode more is that the relationship between these two got a bit more tense and a bit more visceral in a way that I could appreciate. It felt like the kitty gloves were kind of coming off of these two a little bit, and I like that, and I can grab onto that.
I like that they actually insinuated towards sex. I do appreciate that as well.
Yes, we got like that. We got a bit more like violence too, because 02 she was biting her fingers. She was having like this little like minor self-harm tick where she was like gnawing on not just her fingertips. She was gnawing like on her fingers, and they were bruised. And I thought that was also
and she was breaking glass and everything. And
yeah, I thought that was the show kind of stepping up its game with the viscerality.
Hating her reflection for some reason. That actually, like, I would say like overall this was a pretty decent episode in terms of like, events happening and theming and whatever. So I would agree with your point, Lucy. Like, pretty much entirely. My point earlier was just like, yeah, I really do appreciate these things happening. but I feel like the show might like drag it on a bit too long. But that's just like me having fears for it.
Yeah, I could see them fucking it up or whatever, or this being like a 1 episode thing. But
but for this episode,
I liked
good.
This episode, and I hope they continue in the next 12 episodes to step up the viscerality. I mean, I could hope. While I'm already going out on a limb, I might as well just say that I can hope that they'll speed up the fucking process a little bit. And we'll get to some real shit.
Well, yeah, while we're already making crazy expectations for this show, we might as well just add some more, you know?
Yeah, might as well throw it in there.
Yeah, and I mean, I did say at the beginning of this, you know, that I think based upon this episode, it's like going in a good direction. But I just want to make sure that any audience who's actually been watching all of our episodes, that like, hey, I'm not going to be like overtly optimistic here. But I've got a good feeling, I would say, overall. Oh yeah, so we talked about you know, the reveal of like Zero Two's, you know, wanting to kill all the Klaxosaurs and whatnot. So in Battle 2, it gets more serious with Zero Two getting more desperate and more out of control, and at some point, like, basically attempting to, like, you know, Hero resists doing such a thing, and, you know, going all super crazy with Zero Two. So he literally, like, tries to stop, you know, take control, but Zero Two is like, nah, dude.
There's a line in here that I liked because it was a callback to not only something that was going on directly in this episode with Zero Two physically like fighting with the guards, so I think so she wouldn't have to go into testing, but also something that's kind of been going on with the series is she's like, why are you holding me back too, right? Which I was like, ooh, that's good, you know? Because I think that that's also like very sort of emotional and like real is feeling like, you know, hey, why I thought that we were supposed to be partners. I thought that you loved me. Why the fuck are you standing here stopping me doing from what I want to do? And why are you lumping yourself in with these fucking shitheads who point guns at me and tell me to do things I don't want to do, you know? And I thought that was cool.
I wonder why you like that.
Yeah, gee, I wonder.
I wonder why.
Themes of dystopian rebellion. Oh, totally not entirely up my alley.
Totally not super specific to your alley.
Yes, but it doesn't mean that I didn't like it.
Yes. So I mean, anything else in that last battle scene that you guys want to mention? Because that's basically the end of the episode.
There was a lot of screaming. The choreography was a little I couldn't really follow the combat that much.
Honestly, I
the fight
do
out
like.
In the snow looked kind of cool though. Like
yeah, the action overall was like more impressive to me than ever in the series. Like, it was never, like,
no, the episode before this one had better.
Last episode was really good.
I just really liked the fluidity of, you know, the focus on like you know, Hero and Zero Two's FranXX Stratzilla or whatever gay shit. It like was flying across the snow, like doing all these crazy things, like basically going on a violent hunt for these like Klaxosaurs. They're actually pretty fast. The fastest Klaxosaurs we've ever seen. And it was, I was like, finally we get like one character doing crazy shit, feeling it. Good expressions by the Frank, you know. The cartoony designs really did come in here and like impress me and actually be utilized correctly, you know. Whereas before it's just like, oh, when they put like them at the distance or like multiple in a frame where they're just kind of standing around, they just kind of look retarded. But it, you know, the Frank's got the shine here, at the very least, like Heroes and Zero Twos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that's just where I stand. And also, snow is rad.
Yes.
That's awesome. There should be snow in every episode from now on.
I'm a big fan of snow settings, so I do think it's cool. It adds like a certain a new element to things, a new survivalist kind of challenge to things that. Though I mean, it wasn't really explored here. I just kind of get like an excitement with snow, so I did like that about this episode.
Oh, yeah.
I just like snow.
Snow, like I said, is red. I was gonna mention something, but I forgot. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, looking at a screenshot right now that will be on screen. If you're listening on MP3, just imagine this, I guess. But with the Nines team, kids in the white uniform, possible demons, Klaxosaur half-bloods. There's literally 3 characters who are just basically clones of each other, like with gray hair.
I saw that. That was weird. I didn't notice that in the show, but I saw it because you posted the screenshot I'm looking at right now.
Oh yeah, so
I
it's
don't know
like
what that's about. It's kind of weird. It just kind of adds to this whole.
The character designers, they just like, okay, we gotta get all the
Copy and
pastels
paste
here. Oh, oops, I don't think we have enough pastels here. We're jumping colors too quickly. Fuck it. We're just making 3 with gray hair and like, weird
Triplets.
masks.
So it's like, yeah, the masks were weird because they remind me of like how delinquent characters like wear medical masks sometimes. That's what comes to my mind when I see those sort of face masks in anime, I guess.
Oh yeah, they look very like you can breathe through them.
Yeah. I mean, they're also obviously reminiscent of like what the face masks that like the mooks wear. You saw some of them in this episode. They have like vented sort of masks that don't have like eye holes or anything. Whatever, it's not important. But I think it just kind of adds to this sort of like weird alien kind of theme that they're sort of trying to go for with 02, and this team of people that she worked with. They're all just kind of uncanny, they're a little off, right?
Oh yeah, definitely like very clear difference between even the kids, that have like colorful hair themselves. There's a big difference made here. So it's like there's this tiers of specialness. The 9s are the most special. 02 is the most special because she has the one unique uniform of the whole thing with the most colorful hair. With her red uniform. And then the kids, have regular uniforms but colorful hair. And then other teams, just have regular hair and regular
basic
uniforms.
Bitches.
Yeah, basically. Up your budget, kids. Up your budgets. You gotta be styling.
Be more special.
Basically.
Picked to be special.
Yeah, why?
That's a metaphor for American society.
All you gotta do is walk down to your local Hot Topic and pick up a box of some of that colorful hair dye, and you could just become a main character.
Yeah. Take notes, SJWs. Oh wait, you already did. Faggot.
Yeah, they've been studying up.
Wow, fire, straight fire coming from Vamp.
Oh yeah. I think that's about it
Cut.
for this episode.
This
we can end on that.
Get
like
us actually branded as fucking edgelords. We're gonna be the edgiest podcast on the internet now.
I mean,
damn it!
Last episode, didn't you take like a bunch of like shots at like random like people? Not random, but
I did take shots last episode.
Well, I gotta come in and I gotta match you. I didn't do it as well this episode, but I got you.
All right.
Vamp stepping up the edge game.
So we're done?
I think we're done, guys.
Okay. Do we have any last any last minute things that we want to talk about? Any projects we want to plug or bullshit like that?
Over at my channel,
yes.
I'm doing a whole month of making fucking videos, and it's gonna kill me. Every day I'm putting out a video.
Mm-hmm.
My content's gonna be slower.
Kill me.
Yeah, follow it. Give
Slower
them
than
some
ever.
support. I think it's gonna be exciting. I can't wait to see what's gonna come out of it. Hashtag no pressure.
Yes.
Yes. I was actually gonna plug your thing, Munzie. So. That's I have no plugs.
Do we? I don't think we have any new podcasts that aren't this coming out.
I'm gonna be putting out very soon. Maybe by the time this episode's out, maybe a little bit after. I'll also be putting out a podcast that the three of us recorded a little while back about Sword Art Online Ordinal Scale, kind of in anticipation of the new Sword Art Online show that's coming out.
It's gonna be the new season soon. Yeah, so we got all our
get
seasonal
get
stuff
hype.
coming up.
Yeah.
We also we were talking with our friend David about potentially. I'm going out on a limb here, mentioning it on air. We were talking about maybe doing a Ready Player One podcast because we were all interested in shitting on that movie, or that's probably what it is.
Yeah, if it's worth shitting on, we'll see.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly who's gonna be on that. But it's gonna be some combination of the four of us, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I might be in it. I might not. We'll see what happens. But I did want to plug your podcast, Lucy. That I'm assuming that's basically for sure gonna happen. Weekly Sorter Online. You know.
Yes, that is going to happen.
Sorter Online Alternative. Yeah,
yes,
that's
SAO
coming
Alternative. That is coming out.
When does that start airing? What do you know the date that it starts airing?
For all I know, it could already be airing.
I think it's
we're already behind. It's over.
I think it's like the week of the 9th or the 8th, something like that.
So we got
so
that
it's,
week.
Yeah, we got a week. So be hyped, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
SAO.
Now, Trigger Boys, I think it's time to say salutations or goodbye.
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 Love you guys.
God damn it. I need to go to sleep.
All right.